What is up? Welcome to GadgetDog Daily. What's going on? My name is Noah. Thank goodness I'm out of the cube. Woo! Jeez Louise. GadgetDog Daily for Wednesday, December 17th, 2008. I want to send out a very happy anniversary wishes to some folks very near and dear to me. You know who you are. Happy anniversary. Lots of love. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, in just 3 hours and 58 minutes, although if you watch the show regularly, you know I'll probably be late, it's PhoneDog TV. Stay tuned for that. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 1 a.m. Thursday morning in Belgium. But right now, it's GadgetDog Daily, a production of PhoneDog.com and PhoneDog TV, with me, Noah from PhoneDog.com, and you in the dog pound, whoever you are. Alex, Angelant, Funson, Big Boy, Bez, Tamara Rockstar, Justine the Queen, call star. Oh, it's been a while. RT Butler, what's up? I'm good. Anne's Little Saint, there you go. I'm good, thanks. Hey, Idag. Hey, Greg. Hey, Nerdy Birdie, D-Dog, Tech Man, Mob Man. Oh, the gang's all here. Catsman, the usual suspects. Oh, geez Louise. Motley crew in here. I'm glad this is virtual. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You give us 10 minutes, maybe 15. We tell you what you need to know in the world of gadgets and technologically. What is going on today? First up, little mini review, a little mini endorsement. 2 big thumbs up to the Smart Home Smart Strip Power Strip. I just got one of these. Actually, we got 2 of these things. Put one in the living room at home, in the home entertainment system, and the other one upstairs in the bedroom where we've also got a TV and a DVR and a little stereo system. And basically what these things do is, I think we should go to the Telestrator for this. John Madden, let's go to the Telestrator. Basically what you've got on these things is you've got, it's a power strip. You've got a bunch of outlets, and they come in a few different models with a bunch of different, different numbers of outlets. And so right here in blue, you've got your main control outlet. And then in red, you've got a few outlets. This is actually the model that I have, I believe. So my model has 3 outlets that are always on. And then over here, the white ones, but I'll make these green because the whole idea is you're being green by saving energy and stuff. You've got your switched outlets. And so what you do is basically anything that actually has to be on. The deal is that most of the time with electronic equipment, when it's in standby mode, it's using up energy. And so it's costing you money, and it's costing the planet valuable resources, and it's just a waste. I mean, the point is it's a waste. And technology is nothing if not being all about being smart, right? So, if you don't care about saving the planet, I'm not with you on that, but, at least you want to be smart. If you don't care about saving money, at least you want to be smart. But if you want to save a little coin and you want to do something good for the planet, what you do with this thing is anything that actually has to be on, like a cable modem or a DVR, something that's actually in use a lot of the time, you plug those into these red outlets right here, and they just get power all the time, okay? Anything that does not have to be on all the time, you plug into these regular outlets over here, and when you're not using them, they're off. And then whatever your control thing is. So in our case, our amp, our home theater receiver, gets plugged into the blue one. So I've got cable modem and the DVR plugged in, and the Wi-Fi router plugged into these 3, so they're on all the time. You've got the home theater amp, the receiver, plugged into the blue one. And then over here we've got like the TV set and the DVD player and the Wii and the transmitter for the wireless rear speakers, because, I'm not the cable to get the wireless rear speaker thing. And so basically what happens is that the only thing that's in standby all the time is the home theater receiver. And these guys are all off when they're not in use. When I use my regular remote control, I turn the home theater receiver on, and these things all power up into standby mode. Okay, so then if I want to use them, they're on and they're accessible, but if I don't want to use them, they're off. Basically, it's just like having a remote control for the on-off switch. So if you're not forgetful and lazy, like me, you could just have a power strip, and you could just, wherever it is, you could walk over and turn it on and off, and that's cheaper and easy and does the same thing, and there you go. But if you are lazy and forgetful, and also, frankly, I like having the power strip tucked away. I like having all the cords and stuff tucked away behind the thing there so you don't see them. And then you can just use the remote, and it's like a remote control power strip. And so when you need the power, it's on. When you don't need it, it's off. You're being smart, you're being green, you're being eco-conscious, and you're eco-conscious, rather, and you're saving some cash. So I picked up 2 of these. They were like 30 bucks on Amazon each. And, you know, supposedly, if you use a lot of it, you can use them with anything, you know, computer system, if you have a whole bunch of peripherals that are always in standby mode, whatever. Supposedly, if you use a lot of stuff, you have a lot of equipment plugged in, they'll pay for themselves in the course of a year. I don't think we have that much stuff plugged in my house. But still, 30 bucks, you know, not that much to pay. If you're spending $1,000 on a TV, you can drop 30 on a smart power strip, right? Or again, if you're not lazy like me, you can just walk over and turn the thing on and off. But anyway, be eco-conscious. Also, I don't have a picture of this up here. My other favorite thing on this tip is, at least where I am, the local municipal, EB Mud, East Bay, municipal utility, whatever they're called, I don't know. But the power people, the utilities people, they send out you can get free stuff to conserve resources. We got a free shower head that has a little switch on it. And it switches between, you know, full flow and just to a trickle. It's just like a valve, you know. So basically, you go to take a shower, turn the shower on, water heats up, you get in there, you get wet, you flip the switch so it's not on full flow, and then you soap up and, yeah, you buff your nails, I don't know, whatever you do, you wax your head, whatever you do in the shower. And so that way you're not wasting water while you're soaping up. And then when you want the water on, you flip the switch and it comes back and you rinse off, and there you go. And the thing that's good about that is that, again, it saves a ton of water, because you really don't need to have, sometimes you want to have the water on and everything. I'm not saying don't do that. But you don't need to have the water on necessarily while you're soaping up, and especially if you're like me, if you spend a half an hour, you know, conditioning your hair, you don't want to waste all that water. But if you've got a shower that takes a while to heat up, you don't necessarily, you turn it on, you get wet, you turn it off, you soap up, and then you turn it back on, and you're waiting for it to heat up, and you might catch pneumonia or something. There's a nice in between. So anyway, see if your local municipalities offer something like that, because it's pretty cool. In totally other, unrelated but very cool gadget news, John Mosshammer, who created a Pong game watch a while back, now has perhaps the ultimate geek watch. This is way cooler than any of the calculator watches that came out in the 80s. This is the Asteroids watch. It plays Asteroids, and it has a built-in tilt sensor, accelerometer kind of thing. So you can play the game just by tilting your wrist around. How freaking sweet. So sweet. It's not mass-produced. It's, it's a one-off kind of thing, but totally awesome. And there's video of it over on the YouTube, and you can also see it over on boingboing.net, so check it out. Very, very cool. Loving that. Nice work, John. I myself, I just rock a regular watch because I have enough gadgetry in my life, but very cool. I like that. I kind of just want to put this graphic up and just say enough said. So there we go. No. StockTwits. Kind of interesting. StockTwits.com has gotten venture capital funding. First round of funding. Let's see, what does it say here on moconews.net? StockTwits, which expands into twits writing about a stock. What? A joke, guys, relax. I don't understand that joke. Rafat Ali on moconews.net. What are you Dude, what are you talking about? I don't get the joke. Expands into twits writing about a stock. I think what he's trying to say, Rafat Ali, I think the joke that they're trying to make here is that StockTwits really is a contraction of words, and what it means is a bunch of twits sitting around writing about stocks. Dude, if you're going to publish the joke, have somebody else read it first to make sure it makes sense. I don't know Rafat Ali, I'm sorry, but this is very sad. Anyway, StockTwits apparently has received a whole bunch of money from a bunch of New York City tech investors. And basically what they do, in their own words, users can eavesdrop on traders and investors who contribute to the conversation and build their reputation as savvy market wizards. The service takes financial-related data using Twitter as the content production platform and structures it by stock, user reputation, etc. The company has some kind of thing with Bloomberg. The company has tied up with Bloomberg. What does that mean? This might be the worst written blog post I've ever seen. And I've seen some bad ones. T. Marco on Cell Phone Signal writes some terrible, terrible English. Granted, English isn't his first language, but terrible writing over there. But Rafat Ali might be taking the cake here because the English is pretty good, and then it gets mucked up by trying to turn phrases that don't mean it. Like, the company has tied up with Bloomberg. I know what you mean there is that, you know, the company has hooked up with Bloomberg. The company has joined forces with Bloomberg. The company is walking arm in arm down the wedding aisle of financial dominance with Bloomberg, but instead you say the company has tied up with Bloomberg to create a filtered feed of StockTwits commentary that is supposed to be in, and now there's a comma that's not supposed to be there? Oh my head hurts. Oh, this is terrible. Anyway, StockTwits, Twitter posts about stocks. Another totally, you know, I mean, you could get this. There are lots of stock trading communities you could get this for, but it's just another, you know, Twitter's hot. I think it's a sign that Twitter is going to not be hot anymore because all these useless companies are getting funded, and that's always the sign of something becoming uncool, is when people, the sign of something cool becoming uncool, and not that I'm cool, but I'm just saying, the sign of something cool becoming uncool is when uncool people start putting money into building companies around something that's cool. The exception to the rule, I think, is anything Apple related, because there are a lot of really uncool companies selling Apple stuff. And I'm not saying uncool as in a value judgment. I'm just saying, like, you know, something's cool or not cool. A bunch of New York City tech investors, probably not so cool. Maybe very rich and powerful. Probably not all that cool. StockTwits, I don't know. I'm still, my head is spinning from that article on Moco News. Lordy, indeed. Before we get to the bark, let's see what's up in the dog pound. Yeah, I am back. I don't know who you're talking to, but there's no need for that, okay? Guilty Soul, I agree. QLJ555, I don't know of a room called Noah Kravitz. IDAG, Apple pulling out of Macworld. Yeah, so the latest, there's a poster over on Boy Genius, which sourced somebody else, I don't remember who, saying, basically Apple saying Steve Jobs' health is fine. They're pulling out of Macworld because they don't really need Macworld anymore. They didn't say it in these words, but reading between the lines, Macworld is run by a company called IDG. It's not actually run by Apple. And even though Apple has a huge presence at it, obviously. And basically, you know, if you take all the different coverage together, and the best way that I've been able to make sense of it is that I'm sorry, hang on one second. Okay, we're back. There's no need for that kind of language in the chat room. I am back. It's just not. It's not cool. It's not needed. Anyway, sorry. So basically, the best I can tell is a couple things going on. Steve Jobs' health may or may not be, you know, I don't know. I would imagine that if he was, like, gravely ill, pancreatic cancer is serious business, and I actually know somebody who died from pancreatic cancer about 3 years ago now. And anyway, it's serious business, and whatever the deal is with his health, if he was, you know, about to die, I would imagine that they wouldn't necessarily want to go make it public, but word would be getting around because the board of directors would know. It's a big company, it's serious business. But that being said, what Apple's saying is that Steve Jobs' health is fine. They just don't need to be at Macworld anymore because they can do their product announcements whatever they want without having to go through IDG and without having to have the schedule that you know, people know new Mac stuff's coming in January, so maybe they don't buy as much, you know, in November and December for the holidays and that kind of thing. and they've shown that they can just schedule events whenever they want, and you know, the whole tech world will stop and take notice. The funny thing, though, is that to do the last Macworld without, they're having a keynote, but Jobs isn't giving the keynote, is the thing that strikes me as a little bit funny. Because he's such a showman, and he's so good on the stage, and he's such a devoted following of Mac fans and everything, you would think that they'd want to do, you know, a last hurrah send-up kind of thing. So maybe, and what I'm hoping is that actually it's going to be a surprise, and he is going to be there. But the theory is that, you know, Steve is also showing the world, hey, there's a whole team of people, my A-list team, Phil Schiller, John Ives, Tim Cook, these other executives, they can run the company, they can do all this stuff. I don't necessarily have to be at the helm. I'm not going to live forever. Eventually somebody else is going to take over, and, you know, the company will be just fine. So interesting. Hopefully there'll be some cool products. Hopefully El Stevo will make an appearance, but, you know, that's the latest that I've heard. So Greg Alexander, I mean, is his last keynote ever? I don't know, you know. It's the last Macworld keynote. Apple's not going to do Macworld anymore. They're not going to be keynoting it. It looks like Macworld will continue, I guess, without Apple, and so I'm sure they'll have other people keynote it. They have more than one, you know, the other speakers, David Pogue, I think, is speaking, and I think Leo Laporte is speaking as well on the subsequent days. So, you know, they have more than one keynote, but apparently Apple won't be doing it. So there you go. Greg Alexander, no, come on. My Twitter, so we have a PhoneDog Twitter, twitter.com/PhoneDog, and then I have a Twitter, twitter.com/KrabbyCrab. I haven't been using it all that much, so, you know. Am I sad? You know, I'm a little bit sad. I mean, it's kind of the end of an era. Like, I used to be, before I did PhoneDog, I wrote a lot for a couple of different Apple-related publications, and I loved going to Macworld, and it was really exciting and everything. So, yeah, you know, it's a little bit sad. So there you go. Line up for tonight's show, Justine the Queen. You're going to have to tune in to find out. Giving away the HTC Fuse devices. As soon as I know, I'll let you know. It's not going to be this week, but you can go and check it out on the HTC site. 4 new Motorola phones for next year. We'll see if they're real. You know, Boy Genius published that rendering of the LG Xenon, and that hasn't turned out to be real yet. So if these are real, I mean, they look interesting, but, you know, I don't know. Dare or Behold, I'd go Dare. Beholder G1 without data plan. The G1's kind of useless without a data plan. Do I like the Fuse? Yeah. AT&T phone with the best QWERTY, either the Fuse or the BlackBerry Bold, or the BlackBerry Curve is pretty good. I'm back, guilty soul. I'm back to the 5310. I am frustrated that I can't find, you know, the cell phone that I really want. The E71 is just too many hoops to jump through for what it does. So I'm back to the 5310. I mean, I can plug my headphones in. I can get my Gmail on it. You know, that's all I really need. Phone Boy, if that's me you're talking to, hit me up on. I'll try to remember, but hit me up on Twitter or something. All right. Chuck or John Madden? I'd go Chuck, definitely. My iPhone, I have to reinstall software for my iPhone. My iPhone is in won't do anything mode, and I'll probably, if I can get the iPhone working again, because my touchscreen is acting funny, if I can get it working again, I'll probably just wind up going back to it. Yeah. Sprint 09 lineup, don't know anything about it yet. Sprint's BlackBerry good. Yep. Greg Alexander, I love Madden, don't get me wrong. The Chuck Wagon, you know. But when I was a kid, man, I read Madden's book. Hey, wait a minute, I wrote a book. Love that book. I know I never checked my Twitter. I'm sorry, Phone Boy. Dare or Voyager, I personally would go Dare. They're both great. It's just which one you prefer, form factor and everything else. I'd go Dare because I like how small it is. I don't know if I'm getting the Bold. I don't know what I'm doing. Hard liquor or beer, Colombian King. It depends on the day and the mood, but whatever you drink responsibly. Once you go Apple, you never go back. Is an Icon Cool Pix S60 any good? Justine the Queen, I don't know. That'd be a good question for Dr. Photo. The best full QWERTY text phones besides the G1? I mean, when you say text phones, if a smartphone's okay, the BlackBerries are great, the HTCs are great. It just depends which form factor you like. iPhone Nano, it's all rumor land at this point. We'll see, at Macworld. Yeah, Greg Alexander, Ryan's job is doing a lot of the Facebook and Twitter stuff, definitely. I don't do all that much with it. I do have the login and everything. I just don't do that much with it. So there you go. All right. On the bark today, this is something. There's a story going around on the interwebs today. You can read you can read it. Probably the best place to read it is over at CrunchGear, where they have a post entitled PR and the Fine Art of Not Being Crazy by CrunchGear Editor-in-Chief John Biggs. And here's the deal. Basically, you know, as you probably know, the trade show season is coming up. CES is the biggest consumer electronics show. It's the first week of January. And then after that, we got Macworld that week as well. Then you get Mobile World Congress, CTIA, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what happens is in like maybe the month leading up to the shows, people, you know, media people who register for the show and get their credentials approved start getting bombarded with requests from PR people. So, you know, if you don't check the boxes off, by default, your email address and your phone number and your mailing address are all made available to all the PR people who register with these shows. So I sign up for CES, and as I'm signing up, you know, I put in my information, and if I don't uncheck the boxes saying take me off the list or whatever, then my information gets made available to all these people. Now the thing is, you want your information being available to people because that's how you make connections, you form relationships, and it's out of the relationships that you wind up, you know, getting review models, getting the scoop on stuff when it comes out first, getting loaners, getting the hookup to do giveaways, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a fine balance. There's a lot of companies out there who make junk, who go to like one show, nobody buys their stuff, they go out of business. There are a lot of companies out there who, you know, kind of in business, but maybe they have one really great product, but, you know, a lot of junk besides that. And then there's a very small handful of companies really making good stuff. The thing is, though, especially in this business, you know, it's a lot about, on our end, it's a lot about breaking stories, finding you the cool stuff first, that kind of thing. So you really want to go through, and a lot of these PR people also represent more than one company. So, you know, you have to play this game where you have to, like, read these things and talk to people and everything, but you don't want to be bombarded and everything. And so I've had stuff in the past where I've had PR people calling me at 6 in the morning California time, because they're in New York, they don't think and realize that they're calling a California area code. They wake me up at 6 a.m. asking me if I want to take a meeting at CES to see a new piece of software that runs only on the Samsung Upstage, which nobody has anymore anyway, and it lets me GPS, not my dog, but whatever dogs my dog is playing with. Like total garbage like that. So, you know, a lot of great PR people out there. I have lots of friends in the PR world now who I couldn't do my job without, and I love them. But also, especially, you know, the new PR people, or just, you don't even new, just people who just don't get it, they don't think, you know, they're trying to reach millions of people, you know, to get their word out and whatever. Anyway, point being, there's a story right now on CrunchGear, PR on the Fine Art of Being Not Crazy. Apparently, Rich Brome, who runs PhoneScoop, along with Eric Z, the two guys who now run PhoneScoop, great website. And I've met Rich and Eric, nice guys. I met Rich. Don't know him very well, but seems like a really nice guy when I met him. Rich apparently got an email from a PR company that represents Westinghouse TV sets. And he wrote back to them and asked them, and apparently it was his email back was polite, asked them, please take me off of your distribution list. My website doesn't cover TV sets. And so if you could just not send me any more emails, that would be great. Apparently he got a reply back, according to CrunchGear, from the PR company HWH, from their president, Lois Whitman. And I'm going to read you the text on the site. CES publishes a list of press. You are one of a few thousand. Everyone has access to that list for all kinds of reasons. It is publicly published. As a PR agency, we use that list so we can solicit press for booth appointments. I hope you can appreciate that. If you don't, let me introduce you to the delete button. Or in the future, do not sign up as a press person for CES. Furthermore, do not make any threats to my company. I don't need you to tell me what is right or wrong. I've been in the CE business for 42 years. I have seen nasty people like you melt away faster than a snowball going uphill in the rain. I am waiting for an apology. This is the best part. Maybe we can meet at CES for a hug or a slug. P.S. I just visited your website. I would hardly call your blog a publication. However, you do have very interesting content, and we have lots of clients you would like to know more about to help you in your endeavors. Call me, Lois Whitman, President/Owner, HWH PR New Media, loisw@hwhpr.com. What? Maybe we can meet at CES for a hug or a slug? Are you kidding? So, a couple things about this. Number one, okay, PR people, if Rich's website, if Rich's blog is hardly a publication, why are you sending him an email? Not only in the first place, why are you bothering to hit everybody on your press list looking for publicity? Why don't you go through and filter out the ones that qualify as, quote, publications and only target those to save some of your valuable time? Especially if you've been in business for 42 years, you must know what you're doing. Number two, if you're going to go through all this trouble, why then at the end are you saying, however, you do have very interesting content and we have lots of clients you would like to know more about to help you in your endeavors. Call me. But really? And I don't know, this is all, it's all just been published, and it's been published on legitimate websites. And again, like I said, I don't know Rich well, but I've been reading PhoneScoop, for a couple of years now. I've met Rich, I've met Eric L., who used to work at PhoneScoop and now works at HTC. Best I can tell, they're legit. Rich, when I met him, seemed like a really nice guy. And, like I said, I don't really know him. I can't vouch for him personally. But he's gone on a few different places now, CrunchGear, Gizmodo, a couple sites I read this morning, and basically told his side of the story. And I read in one place where the original email that he sent back was published, and it was very polite. So if this is all true, Lois Whitman, what in the world are you doing saying maybe we can meet at CES for a hug or a slug? You need the media to sell your products. Okay, that's how it works. That's why you bother. That's why they pay you. You're threatening the hand that feeds you. I don't care if it's PhoneScoop. I don't care if it's PhoneBoy321's Kite Show. I don't care if it's in Gadget or the Wall Street Journal. Maybe we can meet at CES for a hug or a slug. P.S. I just visited your website. I would hardly call your blog a publication. And then you come back and say, call me, let's have a meeting. Shame on you. Shame on all the people who've called me at 6 in the morning, not realizing, not taking the time to bother to figure out that 510 is a California area code. Shame on their bosses for not training them to do that. Shame on everybody in the industry who keeps the wheel of crap churning. There's a part of this industry that's awesome, that's innovative, that's churning out good products, trying to innovate and keep the prices lower and give consumers stuff that entertains us or helps us connect or whatever, inspires us to think about the future, whatever it is. There's a bunch of people in the blogosphere who, were able to make a living doing something that people seem to like. And then there's people like this who just, why do you have to throw this kind of energy in there? I just, shame on you, Lois Whitman. That's all I have to say about that. All right, kids. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back. We'll be back in 3.5 hours. Get your PhoneDog TV. Stay tuned for that. Keep up in GadgetDog Daily. GadgetDog Daily. PhoneDog TV. So tune in between 4 p.m. and Pacific time, 7 p.m. in the UK. I am in Belgium. PhoneDog TV. Tune in and enjoy it at PhoneDog.com. All the very best to all of you. Come back and join us. We'll see you out. Bye-bye. Oh, help me! Oh, I can't get out! I'm stuck in the cube! I'm stuck in the cube! I'm stuck in the cube. Shout out to Vincent. See you later. I'm stuck in the cube. Ah!